Doctors said he would never walk again. Now some people are calling his story a miracle.
I'm Rita Williams in Oakland. Coming up, a heartwarming story about how a miraculous walk up the steps of this fire engine led to a trip to an ice cream parlor today.
The simple act of taking a few steps became a celebration of life today in Oakland. 23-year-old Andrew Pumphrey stood up and walked onto a fire truck, something many people said he could never do. And as his young niece looked on, perhaps even that wasn't the most amazing thing he did today. KTVU's Rita Williams explains.
Take a look at this. What you're seeing may not seem like a miracle, but that's what some folks were calling it today. Attaboy! 23-year-old Andy Pumphrey got up out of his wheelchair and climbed the steps onto an Oakland fire engine. Attaboy! It earned him a ride to an ice cream parlor. Just a year ago, doctors said he'd never walk again.
If it's not possible and yet it is, I guess you sort of have to call it a miracle.
Power of prayer is real, and I'm sort of the proof. I remember taking her out to the backyard to play and put a foot out, and it just kept going. There was no warning. It just went straight through.
My daughter was covered in blood, and we took him to the hospital.
That clump of red you can barely see in the rubble is Andy Pumphrey. 13 months ago, he had just fallen 2.5 stories, 36 feet, when the stairs collapsed outside the apartment where his sister and her family lived. Pumphrey fell, cradling his 2-year-old niece, Rory, in his arms.
He tucked and rolled so that he landed on his back and she landed on his chest.
It hurts me, Uncle Andy.
Rory Martos had a few scrapes and bruises, but was fine. Her uncle broke his back in 5 places.
His first comment to me was, "I can't feel anything." And at that moment I said, wow, this is not a good thing.
Pumphrey spent 2.5 months in the hospital, paralyzed from the chest down. Doctors said he'd never breathe on his own, move his hands or legs.
It happened that we had a good medic crew, a good firefighter crew, and some senior guys that knew what was going on. So with all that and the help that Andy's gotten from everybody else, it's turned out to be a great story.
The firefighters at the scene did such a good job C-spanning me and getting me ready for transport. I think that's the only thing that allowed me to progress as far as I have today.
Firefighters gave him a Citizen Hero Award. He says they're the heroes.
Random Acts heard my story and heard about all the difficulties I was having with Medi-Cal, and they volunteered their services.
9 years ago, a group of Oakland firefighters started Random Acts of Kindness, a nonprofit to give back to the people they serve. So when Medi-Cal took Pumphrey's wheelchair away, firefighters Random Acts bought him a new one. And when there was no money for therapy, the 4 Sloan brothers, firefighters and chiropractors in Oakland and Sacramento, volunteered to help.
When I saw his x-rays, you look at the area that was fractured, and they did a great job at stabilizing the spine, and then the surgeons did a great job too. So I think he's very lucky.
I got you guys a little present.
Today, with a legal settlement that will provide for a house in Portland and for his medical care for life, Andy Pumphrey gave back to the firefighters in Oakland so they can continue to give to others who need help.
Look what we got you for your birthday.
And firefighters gave Rory a belated present for her 4th birthday. If you had it to do over again?
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't hesitate for a second.
How do you feel about your Uncle Andy?
I love Andy.
Here's somebody that did something really good and saved that little kid's life. And he could have easily been selfish and held on to those rails and not fallen all the way down. But what he chose to do was extremely selfish. I don't think she could have made it if he hadn't done that.
I'd just like to say a special thanks to the Oakland Random Acts program. Without their help and support, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, thanks guys.